this stuff to make sure that we understand how exactly to do this. First off, the first 3 questions were asking us to complete the number name of each number. That's what the directions say. So remember, we learned yesterday that we are those kind of kids who sometimes have a tendency to skip directions. We're going to use a highlighter anytime we have a test or a quiz or a homework assignment, and we're going to highlight directions. Because directions are important, they tell us a lot of good information, and when we just skip it, that never is a good situation. Okay? So for numbers 1, 2, and 3, number name, what am I asking you to do, Max? What am I asking? Write it in word form. So for number 1, Max, how would I say this number name?
658,000.
Good. 6 and 58, and then I have to say the name of the place at the end, thousandths. So this is the words that I should see you have written. 6 and 58 thousandths. Number 2, Brady, what is it?
31 cents.
30 and 1/10. Perfect. So far, so good? What about number 3? Brennan, what's number 3? Now, this is one that sometimes trips people up a little bit because they're not really sure how to name this big number at the back, this 420. So I'm going to say to you this before you give me your answer. Brennan, if I wrote the numbers 420 on a piece of paper,
Yeah.
and I said, what's that number's name?
420.
It's still 420, guys. Just because it has a decimal in front of it doesn't change that number's name. It's still 420. So now, Brennan, what's that number going to be?
420,000.
Beautiful, Brennan. 420. My pen is like behind my writing. It's goofing me up. Thousandths. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
I'm like writing blind.
Oh my
It's weird.
God.
I know.
So weird. Like that.
I don't like that. Okay. Number name. Everybody know how to do number name.
Yeah.
This will be something, sorry. This will be something that you have to do on your quiz. It'll be laid out really similar to this. So it just won't be the same number.
Those are so easy though.
Yeah. What?
Can I do the next question?
Yes, I'm getting there. Okay, for the next one, writing the equivalent number. So I gave you a decimal. Your job was to give me a number that was equal to the one that I gave you. So what did we learn, James, when we did this equivalent number stuff? What did we learn that we do to get a new number?
You take away or add a 0.
Right, so very, very simple thing. I literally just take away a 0 or I add a 0 to my answer. So for number 4, what'd you get?
Number 4, I got
I'm gonna write the answer over here, y'all.
509 hundred millions.
Okay, so tell me tell me all the digits I should write. Decimal?
On number 4,
Yes.
you should have 0,
Okay,
the 5,
okay,
the 0,
okay,
the 9,
okay.
and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros.
I'm not adding that many. Because you had just told me before we started to add a 0 or take a 0 away. So then what would I need to do?
You did add 1 0.
Thank you. I would add a 0. And now I have a new number. But those two numbers are actually equal. So James, I'm going to ask you, the number that I gave you in purple, what's that number's name?
509.
Not and.
509,000.
There it is, 509,000. You just gave me another number down here in green. It's equal, which means it's the same thing, but it has a different name, James. What's this one's name?
509.
No, it isn't.
5,090.
Just be careful not to say and. 5,000, 90, 10,000. So they have different names, but they're the same number. That's kind of weird. Let me put this into something you can understand, okay? Here's what you guys don't know about me, because you call me Miss Malone, but my friends don't call me Miss Malone. My friends call me by my name. I have a name just like you guys have a name. When I was a little tiny baby, the name that I was given is this name, Christina. So that's my name. Why was I named that? Because I was born very close to Christmas. So my name kind of matched when I was born. However, for whatever reason, growing up as a kid, I just didn't really connect with that name. And so instead of people calling me Christina, some people do, but it's kind of more of my professional name. But the name that I use mostly with my friends and what people who really know me call me is Chris. So, is that person the same person?
Yes.
Yes. Christina and Chris, they're both me. But the name looks different. But they mean the same thing. That's the exact same thing I'm talking about with these numbers over here. This purple number right here is the exact same number as this green one way down here. Yes, they look different. Yes, they have different names, but they're the same. How can they be the same when they have different names? Addison.
Because, when you put the zero at the end, it's worse than you think.
Yes. Good job, Addison. When I added that 0 at the back there, I didn't add any value. So I didn't change what the number was worth. Is that clear? All right, let's try number 5. Number 5 right now, Olivia, in purple has a name. What's that number's name? 3 and 22 hundredths. But she's going to give me another number that is equal to that one. What number are you going to give me? Well, that's okay. Just tell me what I should write. What should I write? Okay, so what digit should I put? I'm going to keep everything that I have here the same. I'm just going to put a 0 at the end. So I need to have a 3 at the front. Then what? I need to put both of my 2s. And then what am I going to put at the end? Add a 0. So this number now, Olivia, looks a little bit different than the purple number. And it actually is going to have a different name. So if the purple number is 3 and 22 hundredths, Sophia, what's this green number?
The green number is 3 and 22, or sorry, 3 and 20.
What's that 220?
3 and 220,000.
There you go.
Thousand.
Perfect. So this new number is 3 and 220 thousandths. See, that was why I purposely stopped on this purple number 3 problem up here with Brennan, because every time you guys see that 3-digit number behind the decimal, all of a sudden you forget how to say that number. If the number behind the decimal is 220, just like this number, 220, what's that number? Everybody? 220. So it's still 220. The only thing that's different is when it has a decimal in front of it, now I have to say the name of the place that the last digit is at. So now it's 220,000. So that's how I say it. Okay. All right, writing equivalent numbers. Are we good?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, ma'am.
So far, have we made any mistakes?
No.
Excellent. All right, looking good, feeling good. Number 6 and number 7 down here at the bottom. Now our job is to complete the fraction. I gave you the decimal, you give me the fraction. What's my fraction going to be for number 6?
98 over 100.
Beautiful. 90. Oh, Lordy B, how did that happen? Okay. Just had a little mind of its own. Okay. 98 over. It is so loud in here. Somebody who's watching this show from home would think I was teaching in the middle of a circus. So we're recording. It would be helpful if you weren't this noisy. Mason, tell me again, what does 98 hundredths look like as a fraction? Thank you. And if we look at number 7, what does this one, Brody, look like as a fraction?
5 over 10.
5 over 10. There's your first 6 answers. Who was 6 for 6?
I was 7.
For 7 for 7, whatever. Okay. If you had any boo-boos, your job, this is becoming a distraction. Your job is to figure out, where did your boo-boo happen? Did your boo-boo happen because you had a brain fart? Like you did something that like, oh man, that was so silly for me to do that. Or did you make a mistake because you just had no idea what to do? Brain burps are okay, confused is not. So you have to decide, how is it? Are you confused? If it's so, then me and you have a little work to do. If it was just a goofy error, then you just gotta train your brain not to do that error next time, okay? What, Alan?
I can't see the last 2 answers.
Okay, so for number 6, the answer should have been 98 over 100. And then for number 7, it should have been 5 over 10. All right, let's jump to page 2. So now we're looking at things in expanded form, okay? So to write this thing in expanded form, who wants to break it down and tell me what I should have? Let's go blue this time. All right, Cassidy, give it to me.
8 plus 0.5 plus 0.04 plus 0.07.
Beautiful, Cassidy. That's in decimals. Now, did anybody choose to do it as a fraction? Okay, for those of you who chose to do it as a fraction, the only difference is you still have to have your 8 plus, but now your 5 is going to be over 10, your 4 is going to be over 100, and your 7 is going to be over 1,000. Okay? Number 2, give it to me. Who have I not heard from? Somebody who I haven't had Henry, give it to me. What do I have to have?
I put 0.
Okay, he wanted to put that 0 in front. You don't have to. If you did, it's okay.
20 plus 0, 1, 0.
Excellent, Henry. Very good. There it is. That's what it looks like in expanded form. I could have put more up there for practice, but I feel like if you got those 2, you knew what to do. Questions? Brady.
Can I say it in fraction?
Huh?
Can I say it in fraction?
What'd you get as a fraction?
8 over 10 plus 3 over 100.
Good. Now, for those of you choosing to do things in fraction form, do you know how to do it in decimal form though? That's important because there will be times that you will have to put it in decimal form. The directions will say, write it as a decimal. So if you don't do it in decimal form, it will be counted wrong. So I don't mind how you do it. If you chose to do it as fractions, that's great. You just gotta make sure you know how to do it the other way also. Do you have to show me the answer both ways? No, that's a waste of time. Okay? It's like saying 5 plus 4 is 9, 4 plus 5 is 9. Yes, they're both 9. You don't have to show it to me both. What, Addison?
Oh, I just want to ask if I can do the next.
Yes, you can. Okay, let's move on down. So now we're gonna write the number name. I'm gonna take a quick pause and ask anybody who in this room, snack time should be over by now. So if you still have your shield up, you need to put your shield down. You need your mask, put your mask back on. And we need to clear the desk because these shields are in the way of people seeing the board. Okay? So it just kind of is a lot more helpful if you can kind of clear your workspace for the people around you to be able to see what they need to see. All right, so for number 3, Addison wants to show us what number 3 is going to look like as a number name. So for some of you, you may have to have done this in 2 steps because right now it's an expanded form. So the first thing you might have had to do was put this thing in standard form first. So Addison, that's what I want you to do. I want you to tell me how to put this in standard form first. So the first thing I want everybody to notice, can you see the board from where you are? Okay. The first thing I want you to notice is that whenever you have a bunch of stuff like number 3 has, the first thing I want you to notice is where does the decimal stuff start? And this is what you should be able to look at and notice. Where does the decimal stuff start, Addison?
It starts after the 3.
Yes. All this business right here that has this fraction stuff, that's decimal stuff. So all of that is going to go in decimal land. The stuff that's going to go in whole number land is the stuff here in the front that doesn't have any decimals or fractions with it. So, Addison, what's the first thing I'm going to have?
You're going to have a 3.
Yeah. Now, does everybody see how she got that?
Yeah.
What'd you do to get that, Addison?
I just, that's just the answer to 3 times 1.
Yes, 3 times 1. Now, we see here, because I drew my little squiggly line, we see that now all the rest of it's going to be in decimal land. So now I know I need to put mine. And Addison's going to tell us what goes in decimal land.
6,
Mm-hmm.
1, and 7.
Good. So 3.617. Are we finished? No. Because the directions said to write the number name. That's not the number name, that's the number. So now it's time to put this thing in words. So I don't have a lot of space to write. So Addison, using your words, tell me, what should this say?
It should say 3,617,000.
That's what you should have written in words. 3,617,000. So bingo, shingo. All right, so far, let's see, we had 7 on the first page, we have 3 on this page, 10, we've done 10. Who's 10 for 10? Yes, who's 9 for 10? All right, where did the boo-boo happen, 9? Where did it happen?
Number 6.
Number 6 on the last page. All right, so over here, yikes. That's where our boo-boo happened with number 6. Let's look at it real quick. What'd you do?
I only put the 8.
Oh, I love that you made that mistake because you're probably not the only one. So here's what he did. Well, on the top number of his fraction, he only put the 8. Because he was thinking, if I'm doing the 100 spot, I only put the number that's in the 100 spot. See, I knew what your brain was thinking. But remember, if I only put an 8 on top there, I'm saying that 98 hundredths is equal to 8 hundredths. So would that be a true statement? No. So if I'm trying to say that this whole thing is equal to something over here, what's over here has to be the same thing as what's over there. So however you would speak it is what it should say. So if you only put the 8 here, you're saying 98 hundredths is equal to 8 hundredths. So that's not a true statement. But if I put 9 and 8 up here, 98 hundredths is equal to 98 hundredths. So do you see that? Good, I'm glad you made that mistake. Who else had a boo-boo? Where'd yours happen?
Number 3.
On the first page or second page?
First page.
First page, number 3, right here, word form?
Yes, I put 42 hundredths instead of 420,000.
But now you know?
Yes.
Excellent, love it. Yes, what about you? Did you have a mistake?
I was confused.
On which one?
Number 5.
Page 1 or 2?
2.
Page 2, number 5.
So it said.
We haven't even gotten there yet.
Oh, we haven't?
No. Page 2, number 5?
I thought we already did those.
No, not yet. Hold on. Put the brakes on. Yes, ma'am.
I have the same quantity.
You what?
The same quantity.
But now you know? That's perfect. That's what I love. Yes.
Number 6.
Which page? Page 1?
This one, I put 8 times 1 over 100.
Well, that's okay. That actually works. You just probably made it a little harder on yourself. But here's what he said he did for that number 6 problem down there. Well, wait, you said you did 8?
Yeah.
Well, you did kind of the same mistake that Braden did. If the whole number that you're starting and playing with is 98, you gotta keep playing with 98. Don't all of a sudden start playing with 8, because now you change the number. But you could though, buddy, like if it was 0.98, you could say like 1 times 0.98. Like you could do that. That would be something that would be the same, but that's a lot harder. And especially it says complete it as a fraction. So it means all you have to do is whatever is right there behind the decimal, both of those numbers go on top of the fraction. Okay? All right.
I know.
What?
On number 3 on the other page,
Okay.
if I had 3, I know I'm wrong, but I got 3 and 617th.
Oh.
Because I don't know why. I got
That's okay.
mistake.
But I love that y'all are finding your mistakes. This is probably something you're not used to doing. You're probably just so used to marking it wrong and then saying, well, I missed one. But now you're actually being your own detective. You're finding your errors, and that's where learning really starts to happen.
After Ms. Cox said yesterday, she didn't tell us to like find out where it was. She said just count it wrong and change it.
Yeah, but see, now we're getting it. Now we're learning. All right, so here we go. So we have 2 left. These are the ones that Sophia was thinking that maybe she might have had a Google one, but we don't know. We haven't done them yet, right? So for number 4, we have to write these things in standard form. So basically, it's kind of what we did with number 3, except we can stop once we get to the number. We don't have to put that thing in written form afterwards. So Sophia, try it. So what'd you get for number 4? First off, let's notice what's gonna go in decimal land.
I think I messed up on number 5, but I did number 4.
Well, let's do number 4.
Okay.
What's gonna go in decimal land?
The 6,000.
In decimal land?
No.
What's gonna go in decimal land?
Oh, the 5, like.
Yeah, like this stuff. Why?
Why?
Oh, no.
It's glitchy.
Wait, what happened?
It just like has a mind
It's on
of
the
its
right
own.
page.
All right, I'm not gonna touch it because I'm afraid of it now. But the 5 times 1 over 100 plus the 7 times 1 over 1,000, that's our decimal land stuff, right,
Yes.
Sophia? Okay, so the stuff in front is what I have to do first. So
Yes.
what's that gonna be?
The answer will be 6.
There's noise in here again, over here that shouldn't be. Go girl, tell me.
So 6,000.
Okay,
Point 0.057.
excellent.
And
So
the whole number would be 6,000 point.
So, yeah, so this thing is what it would look like in standard form, and you can stop there, you don't have to turn it into words. But I just want to make sure she knows how to say this number's name. So Sophia, read me that number.
Okay. The word form of that number would be 6,000.
What is it?
6,000
6,000,
point
not point,
and
and
50 or 57,000.
there you go. That was a mouthful. So it's 6,000 and 57,000. So remember, in decimal land, you have to say the name of the place after the last digit, okay? All right, for number 5, for this one, Tessa actually asked me when she was working through this, she had a little bit of a question, but she figured it out. Because what kind of got her a little bit was that for this one, there were 2 things that she had to do in whole number land before she could come up with the number. She had 4 times 10 that she had to do, and then she also had 4 times 3 that she had to do. So we're gonna let Tessa kind of walk us through this. Tessa, what's 4 times 10?
40.
40. What's 4 times 3?
12.
12. Now, in between those 2 problems, I see a plus sign. What do I have to do with those 2 numbers, Tessa?
You have to add them.
I do. I gotta add those 2 things together. What is 40 plus 12, Tessa?
52.
It is. It's 52. So that's gonna be the first number that I have in whole number land. You don't have to show that stuff, guys. Like, if you can do the 40 and the 12 in your head and then add that in your head, awesome, do it. So, but there are some people in here who are visual people and it helps them to see it. So if you need to see it, then write it out. Okay, I'd rather you write it out than try to do so much up in your head that you have mistakes. So, okay, all right. So now, Tessa, all the rest is decimal land stuff. So where's the 6 gonna go?
Right after the decimal,
Good.
and then the 9 is after the 6.
And the 9's after the 6. 52.69. What's that number's name?
52 and 6,900.
There you go. That's it. Okay. Who got, let's see, 10, 12. We had 12 of them. Who was 12 to 12? Give yourself an air high five. Nice work, everybody. How many of you I know some of you had that one boo-boo. Did you have any other extra boo-boos along the
I
way?
had one.
You had one extra one? Which
No, I
one?
had one boo-boo.
Oh, only one throughout the whole thing?
It's right said 10. It's right said team.
All right, well, if we were a team getting ready to prepare for our game, I think we were gonna win the game.
Yeah.
Because it really looks like, from what I'm seeing in the audience, that you guys know what you're doing, okay? All right, so, it's technically supposed to be time for art. So we're gonna have to take a break, but I'm gonna tell you one little sneak peek before you run away, okay? What we're gonna be learning in lesson 3 is, please turn your voices down. Lesson 3.
Do you have any more math today?
Here's what we're gonna learn is how to compare decimals.
Oh, yeah, I saw this in our homework.
Using that greater than, less than, or equal to sign. That's it. Okay, go ahead and put your math stuff away. You didn't learn enough to do any homework tonight, so you're free again. Yes. What? I can't even begin to hear you.
I can see you until the end of the day. Bye.